My name's Pat Campbell, and I'm here at the University of Washington, where I'm a professor of music, technically, and I was hired into music education to work with musicians becoming teachers who usually identify as teachers or, with an interest in going into schools in about their third or 4 years. So I work with them at the upper end of their coursework. Currently, I'm head of ethnomusicology too, partly because I can push papers around, but partly because folks are doing other kinds of projects, and so what's happening over many years is my great interest in ethnomusicology has blended into education and back and forth, and I can see some evolving things.
My name is Shannon Dudley. I'm a professor of ethnomusicology at the University of Washington. I teach a variety of classes on Latin American and Caribbean music there, popular music, and method and theory classes for graduate students.
We're working within systems, including professional organizations like the National Music Educators Conference and the Kodai group and the ORF group and American Bandmasters group, and all of that is dictating a way in which, okay, we've got to get these people out in 4 years. They have a big liberal arts component. They need to find jobs. So we're like entangled, really. So what we do here is actually better than what is happening at, and I could name the state universities and the private universities. We're doing better here than elsewhere, is to require some ethnomusicology, which we think opens up ears. Several courses in ethnomusicology, a course in ethnomusicology in the schools, which takes them out to a tribal school where they come in and they say, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to perform here. And we said, yeah, well, you were bringing your instruments, but that's not just to perform for the natives. They have instruments. What we're going to do is have a little jam here, a little sharing, a little jam. And it's like, wow, that's different. So in ethnomusicology in the schools, we take them out to communities.
In the last 3 years, working with the Seattle Fandango Project here, which involves teaching son jarocho music from Veracruz, we generated a group of people that included some music students, some students from other parts of the university, and a lot of people from the community who weren't part of the university. And what I see happening there is that our students learn infinitely more than they could ever learn in a class about music. I mean, and they may not be learning about the music of Veracruz, so there again, we can't presume to teach the whole world this way, but they're learning a lot of important things about this music as it is played here in a community of practice, and they're immersing themselves in that community of practice. And in this case, very few of the people in the group are from Veracruz. A lot of them are Mexican. It's a very bilingual group. And I think that that's a much more enriching and valuable experience for the students. And it's going to teach them more about how ethnomusicology ought to be done than meeting one person who is a master of that tradition and who in some sense individually embodies that tradition. Oh, I shouldn't say that categorically, because every musician and every teacher is different, and every community of practice is different. But this is just such an exciting model to me for getting our students, the question for ethnomusicology has always been, how do you teach the music of the whole world? How do you bring the whole world to your class or your university? And in any sort of urban area like Seattle or other big cities, you do have a lot of options to get your students involved in the community, and so I think it's made me think in new ways about what we can do, and to do not get too hung up on the traditional paradigm in anthropology and ethnomusicology of going to the field. We have lots of different fields right here.
What we really need is for theory, which runs 2 years, theory and musicianship courses to be totally transformed. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen here. right now. It's not going to happen for a while. There's a few places. Cal Arts, there's a little bit of activity at University of Miami. There's a couple of different programs here and there where theory is musicianship. Bring your instruments and let's discover and let's enjoy and let's get the French 4/3 and German 6 chords by way of playing. And nomenclature aside, you're getting it. That's not the way in which theory is typically taught.
So at this point, I'm participating in the Seattle Fandango Project. Some of my students are. I'm doing what I can to link it to our degree programs. For example, students could get credit for participating in it towards their ethnomusicology degree. Sometimes I'm able to bring people from the Seattle Fandango Project into classes to do demonstrations and talk about it. But I'm sort of sitting back and trying to understand how this group needs to work. What are the possibilities for connecting the university to it, but no longer supporting it as a university project. That's definitely not what it is anymore. And there are huge obstacles to promoting community music in our university, I think, which is a very traditional idea of music as an elite pursuit for experts. And so I'm excited about the possibilities, but I'm not sure exactly what they are.
Or, see, this would be an interesting thing, to have all the violin students together, learning and helping one another. But that's just not the tradition. I know, it's not the tradition.